Peace, beloved. This message came through this rising, and it is to access the divine femme, to access the divine feminine. You must heal the masculine within. To access the divine feminine, you must heal the masculine within. So this is for those that identify as women. And for those that identify as men, it's going to be the flip. To access the divine masculine, you have to heal the feminine within. Okay, so every being, regardless of the gender that you were born with, regardless of the sex that you were born with, regardless of the gender that you identify with, you also pause. I would just like to point out for those that, because I am queer, and I still make mistakes when I'm using language sometimes. Oftentimes, first of all, I have a processing disorder, so I process things in a different order than other people. So oftentimes it doesn't even come from a lack of awareness, it just comes from my brain processing things in a different order than other people. What I do when that happens is I simply correct myself, and if I've offended somebody, I apologize for offending them. My intention was never to offend them. I am genuinely apologetic that I have offended somebody, if I have. And so I just want to share, people ask me all the time, like, when they find out that I am queer, well, so how do I approach asking somebody about their pronouns or asking somebody what they prefer to go by? Simply ask. Just humble yourself in your heart and ask. And ask kindly and respectfully. Yeah, so that's the little side note. So anyways, to access the divine femme within, you must heal the masculine within. Or to access the divine masculine, you must heal the feminine within. Every being, regardless of what sex you were born with or what gender you identify with, has both masculine and feminine channels within them. So regardless of whether you identify with the gender of the divine femme or the gender of the divine masculine and what you want to embody, and this is so important because every being has both within them. So you do get to make a choice about what feels good to you, what feels aligned to you. That's where the choice comes in, to honor yourself or not. The choice doesn't come in as far as how you feel and what is true and aligned for you. The choice comes in to honor that or not. So we get to make that choice to honor ourselves and what we want to embody in this life. And so if we choose to identify with the divine femme and we want to embody the divine femme, you have to heal the masculine. So you can't avoid the masculine. You can't be angry with the masculine. You cannot move as your highest self from a place where you are still wounded by the masculine. So it's okay to be in a place where you are hurt by the masculine at this place, at this point, right now, or in the past, or in the future. But you do have to be willing to heal that. And when you're willing to heal that, confirmation age, when you're willing to heal that, you will be able to access the fullness of the equal opposite. So for me, this is showing up as I'm making this big stance at 31 years old to show up as the most embodied divine feminine. I am being met over and over and over and over with the wounds that I have experienced from the masculine. Now, I'm queer. Confirmation age. I'm queer. So one thing that I've really been exploring, but I'm not lesbian. And I really don't define myself as bi either. I don't really like labels or boxes. But I am attracted to both genders. And am open-minded to marrying either gender. So I've dated both genders. Right now I'm in the relationship with a woman, and we are engaged. And as we're going through this process of learning how to show up for one another, we are being faced with the fact that as two divine feminine, to show up in a way where we can balance one another, both of our masculine energies have to be completely healed, so that we're not unintentionally wounding one another's divine feminine from our wounded masculine place. And also, it's the divine masculine energy that supports and balances the divine feminine. So the cool thing about queer relationships, when there's two people of the same gender or the same sex in a relationship, is that they get to play off of both roles at different times. So at different points in the relationship, one person is going to be showing up as the divine feminine and one person is going to be showing up as the divine masculine. At times both of you will be in your divine feminine, allowing others to show up as the divine masculine, or at times both, especially if it's two embodied divine masculine, maybe showing up as two embodied divine masculine and allowing others to show up as the divine feminine for them. So there's this interesting play that gets to happen in queer relationships, and it gets to happen in heterosexual relationships as well, actually. And that's very important to note, that again, everybody still has the divine feminine and the divine masculine within themselves. So in heterosexual relationships, you still at times as the embodied divine feminine are going to be showing up as the divine masculine and holding space for your embodied divine masculine's inner divine feminine. Okay, so there are times where as the divine embodied divine masculine, you're going to be showing up as holding space in the divine feminine for your embodied divine masculine to work with or heal or play, play with or heal their inner masculine. So this interdimensional play actually does happen in heterosexual relationships as well as homosexual relationships. So anyways, Source, Spirit, God is saying that to access the divine feminine, you must heal the divine masculine inside. To access the divine masculine, you must heal the divine feminine inside. That is the message, Source, Spirit. Is there anything else for this message that you would like to be shared? No? Alright, we'll close this out. Thank you for showing up here today. Oneness and love.